Hey guys, we are going to look at using the greatest common factor and the distributive property to find the sum of two numbers today. I am on page 125 in your workbook if you want to follow along. So greatest common factor is something that we've been looking at for a few days now, and we're going to pull in the distributive property to find the sum of two numbers. So for example 3, we're using the numbers 18 and 24. And we want to find the sum of 18 and 24, but we don't just want to add 18 plus 24. We're asked to use the GCF and the distributive property to find the sum of 18 and 24. So the first step would find the greatest common factor of 18 and 24, and they've done that for us right here. So if we were to use a factor tree to find the factors, the prime factors of 18, we get 2 times 3 times 3. And then for 24, 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And then we look for the factors that are in common. So we have a 2 in common and a 3 in common. And in order to find the GCF, we take the factors that are in common, the buddies, we multiply them together, and the GCF for 18 and 24 is 6. So now that we have our greatest common factor, we want to use the distributive property to find the sum. So we have 18 plus 24, and we are going to use the GCF and then the distributive property. So instead of 18 plus 24, we pull out the 6 and we say 6 goes into 18 3 times. 6 goes into 24 4 times. And so the GCF is 6, and then the distributive property gives us 3 plus 4. When we solve, we say 3 plus 4 is 7, and 6 times 7 is 42. We can check if the sum of 18 and 24 is actually 42 by doing just traditional addition. We got 42, so that means that our GCF is 6 times the quantity 3 plus 4 is the same thing as the sum of 18 and 24. Okay, let's take a look at the triad. The triad asks us to use the GCF and the distributive property to find the sum of 12 and 36. So we know that when we factor out the greatest common factor, it's going to go here. We're going to have it distributed. And so we're looking for what numbers fit into this expression. So the first thing I want to do is find the GCF of 12 and 36. So I'm going to start with 12. I'm going to make a factor tree. I'm starting with 3 times 4. 3 is prime. 2 times 2 is 4. So for 12, my prime factors are 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, now I can take a look at 36. Make my factor tree. 12 times 3. 3 times 4. 2 times 2. So I'm going to put my 36 underneath my 12. 36 is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Now I'm going to look for those pairs. So what do they have in common? Well, I see they have a 2 in common. They have another 2 in common. They have a 3 in common. So the GCF of 12 and 36 is 2 times 2 times 3. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. The GCF of 12 and 36 is 12. The GCF belongs on the outside. Then 12 times what gives me 12? 1. 12 times what gives me 36? 3. Here I'm just dividing 12 divided by 12, 36 divided by 12. Now I'm going to check and see if I'm right. I first can solve here. 1 plus 3 is 4. 12 times 4 is 48. Am I right? Well, let's add 12 plus 36. 48. Those answers match, and so I know I'm correct. All right, I hope this video helps when you're using the greatest common factor and the distributive property to find the sum of two numbers.